Welcome, everybody. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. We're in the Psychology of Eating podcast, and I'm here today with Gabriela. Welcome, Gabriela.
Hello. Thank you, Marc, for this invitation.
I'm so glad you're here. Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico City.
And that's where you are right now?
Yes, I live in
lovely,
Mexico
lovely,
City.
Lovely. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, Gabriela, if you could wave your magic wand and get whatever you wanted for yourself personally in relationship with food or even professionally, what would that look like for you?
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting question, Marc. What I would say is that I need and I am interested in taking care of my body image as well as taking care of my health and my thinking. Nowadays, I think that it's very important for me to take care of my thoughts, since it's been very easy for us or for me to receive a lot of negative news. And in regards of being just at home, I need to take care of myself. I know for sure that I need to eat well, to eat healthy. I also need to do some type of exercise. But how can you help me in order to integrate all these variables so that I can really feel well? Mm-hmm. Of course, as I said, I'm interested in keeping up with a slim, good body image, but I know it is more important for me to become an integrated body, mind, nutrition, soul as a whole. So I need to have your suggestions, your advice, to receive your advice. So what can I do in order to behave like this, to keep this calm in my thinking and in my soul and in my body? What can you do? In what ways can you help me?
What a big, beautiful question. I love that question. So let me ask you a number of questions so I can begin to understand you better and just narrow down so I can really, give my best suggestions to you. How old are you?
I am 51.
51. And what do you do for your profession?
Well, I am an entrepreneur. I have my own business, which is called Healthy Food and Lifestyle Design.
Ah.
Yes.
And what kind of clients do you see?
Well, in Mexico, at least in Mexico City, there are lots of people who are suffering from obesity or overweight, also suffering from diabetes and hypertension. So I would say that as the majority of clients or customers I attend, I service, they are, of course, young people, but also medium-aged people that are suffering from these type of conditions.
Wow. Okay. And have you ever had your own challenges in the past with weight?
Yes, although I can say that I have always been a slim person. I would say that in the past, I used to have an obsession with becoming fit. The more tonified I would be or I could be, the better. So in the past, I would say that I was allied in an alliance with eat less and exercise more. I used to exercise from 3 to 4 hours per day. Wow. I ate very low carbs, low fat, and extreme protein. So I used to have that type of mentality.
And how about these days?
Well, these days, I think that all has changed for me. As I was telling you and asking you at the beginning for an advice, since I have become more aware of the importance of being integrated as a whole. Now I believe that body is, yes, of course, important, but more than that, I believe that our thinking and how we are feeling becomes a reality towards what we are doing. So I am very, very interested in acquiring knowledge from you based on your experience. So, for example, what would your main ideas, main topics, main advice would be towards how can I become day after day more integrated, more in peace with me, with my environment, with what is going on in the whole world? And how can I minimize this type of thinking towards, for example, my body image? Shall I continue restricting myself? Shall I become more anxious towards conducting or doing more exercise, although I know I cannot go as in the past to my gym? So, I think that in some way, of course, I'm a little bit anxious, and I am, of course, responsible for all the advice I can give to my customers.
Yeah.
So I am very, very interested in learning from you, Marc. In what ways can I help them better to become all these type of conditions they are suffering? Yes. And on the other hand, how can I make them feel better towards themselves and in the middle of what we are living as a community and as a world per se?
Yes. Oh, lovely questions. Really, really, really good questions. And I'm gonna get to those, but I still want to ask you more questions.
Yes.
Do you feel any kind of pressure that because of what you do professionally, because of how you work with clients, that you have to look a certain way or be at a certain amount of fitness?
Definitely. Definitely. I need to be very, very honest. And at the beginning, I was forcing myself to be very well trained. Yes, that is why I did almost from 3 to 4 hours per day of exercise, high level, high intensity exercise, such as 2 hours of spinning, 1 hour of functional training, plus swimming or weightlifting. I was really forcing myself. I was very rigid and strict with myself so that I could give and show my best image towards my clients. And, I think that based on what we learn from the world, we are taught that the first impression is what sells. Mm-hmm. So that is why at the beginning, I must admit and be honest that I was really very worried about my body image, since I have always been slim, but, of course, I had a little bit of abdominal fat. And I wanted my arms and legs to be very well tonified so that I could really express my customers what they could aspire or reach throughout my services.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for being so honest. Gabriela, I think it's so difficult when we get into the fitness profession or health coaching, or whether we become a yoga teacher, whatever it is, and there often becomes this pressure that I have to look perfect, I have to be perfect, I have to be the ideal model because that's what people want.
Yes.
And usually, I think what's often happening when we do that, when we push ourselves in that way, it's almost like our profession can be a good excuse for my own drivenness.
Yes.
So, it may be, even if you weren't doing this as a profession, maybe if you were just independently wealthy and you didn't need to work, or you were just working in your garden all day, you still might be thinking to yourself, oh, I want to have the perfect body, or I want to have the perfect fitness or the perfect shape. And then you would find a way to do that. But being a teacher or a coach is a really good excuse for having to do that, because I just want to help my clients and I want to inspire them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you are the example to your clients.
Yes.
And through this means, you also believe that you belong to. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
we are surrounded by this type of thinking.
Yes. So with that understanding that we're an example for our clients, then I think where we can go is to really redefine the kind of example that we wish to be for them. So, do you really wish to be an example of, I'm working 4 hours a day, I'm working really hard at my fitness 4 hours a day, or maybe more, and I'm controlling my diet, and I'm very rigid, and I'm constantly thinking about it, and I'm constantly worried about it? So in a strange way, that's the example that you're setting. They might not notice it, but we feel each other.
Exactly.
And we connect with each other in very subtle and unseen ways. So for me personally, I would rather see you be you. And to me, it looks like you're a happy person, and it looks like you care about people, and you care about health, and you care about people finding their higher self and finding a way to integrate their life. So if those are the things you care about, and that's the example that you want to set, then to me, it would be natural for you to start letting go of you having to look perfect, because so many of your clients are coming to you and they're upset because they don't look perfect.
Yes.
And if you're going to put forth perfection to them, look, I got this perfect body that I work on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, that can make people more driven. It can make them more self-rejecting.
Okay.
Because they'll be comparing themselves to you. They'll be feeling how driven you are. And what if your message was, yeah, we need to eat healthy. And yes, we need to move our bodies. But let's find a way to do that so it works for us. Let's find a way to do that so there's joy in it and there's happiness in it. And we can enjoy food. And we can enjoy the kinds of movement that we're doing. And we're not doing it because we hate the body that we're in. We're doing it because we want to feel better.
Yes.
I just want to feel better. I want more energy. Sure, I might want to lose some weight. Absolutely. But if you put out that kind of mentorship to people, then to me, you'll attract those kinds of clients who want that. Because not everybody wants to work very, very hard, having the perfect weight and the perfect body and the perfect muscle tone and the perfect percent body fat. People just want to feel better about themselves. And if you're, in a strange way, sometimes what you're saying to them by your own efforts to, okay, I have to have the perfect body and I have to work really hard at this, you're almost communicating to them that they're not okay as they are.
I agree.
So for me, whenever a client comes to see me for the first time, I used to do fitness training when I was in my 20s. And even back then, no matter who came to see me, I wasn't in judgment of their body.
Okay.
I personally didn't need them to lose weight or look different. They want to lose weight and look different. I understand that. It's a lot of people that want to lose weight and look different. So I'm fine helping them with that. But at the same time, I'm giving them the message that I still honor you and respect you as you are right now. I'm not going to like you anymore if you lose a bunch of weight and gain a bunch of muscle. It doesn't mean I'm going to say, wow, I really love you now. I really respect you. Now you're a better person. Now you've arrived. Because so many people are coming to you and they don't feel good about themselves.
Okay. But
And then
Marc,
yes.
but let me know something. If we are surrounded by the stigma about being fat is synonym of being unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we overcome this stigma that being fat or having overweight, yes, suffering from overweight is synonym of being unhealthy? So what would you recommend in this regard?
Great question. Really, really good question. I'm always looking to give my client the message that you are okay as you are. And I'm glad you're coming to work with me because my job is to help you feel even better.
Okay.
But if you've been hearing the message that fat is unhealthy, and if that's getting you down, and if that's upsetting you, then sure, you can use that for some fuel to motivate yourself or inspire yourself. But it's more important that I would tell my clients, it's more important, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, that you start taking care of yourself, that you have a healthy relationship with yourself. So it's about you starting to respect you. So a healthy relationship with self, what does that mean? A healthy relationship with self means, yes, I notice what I eat and I want to take care of my body. That's a healthy relationship with myself. A healthy relationship with myself also means that I notice all the negative talk that's in my mind and all the self-attack or the self-rejection. So a lot of times it's very simple, Gabriela. Your client comes to see you and you just love them and you smile at them, and everything that you do with them bring happiness, bring joy, bring a smile, reassure them. Let them know that they're doing something good for themselves by seeing you, and that one of the best things they can do for their health is to let go of any worry or stress or anxiety that they don't truly need.
Okay.
So there's certain anxieties or stresses that we kind of need, maybe I have work stress, or maybe I have stress at home in my marriage or with my kids, or there's stress in the world right now. So that's all understandable. But there's stresses that we don't need. And one such stress that we don't need is, oh my God, if I don't lose 50 pounds, I'm going to die.
Okay.
Because what happens is, yes, people get scared by their doctors. They get scared by what they hear. And I'll let people know, instead of it scaring you, let it inspire you. So let's come work out. Let's come eat better. Because if it scares you more, you create more stress. And stress chemistry tends to create more weight gain or make it difficult to lose weight. So part of you losing weight is us losing the kinds of stress and anxiety that we don't need.
Okay.
But it's you constantly reminding your client of that. Sometimes it's just as simple as what I'm doing with you, just giving direct messages and reminding them every time. Because many of your clients, they don't feel good about themselves. They don't like themselves, and they've been given negative messages about their body. So your job is to like them, feel good about them, treat them well, treat them as if every one of them is like your favorite client.
Okay.
So when they come to see you, they can't wait to see you.
And Marc, on the other hand, what would you do, for example, if we know that the majority or most of the population, as I was telling you, is nowadays suffering from increasing levels of, as you said, depression, anxiety, plus certain type of conditions that are attempting their health, such as overweight, hypertension, diabetes, and so on.
Yes.
So if we are not stigmatizing having or suffering from overweight, how would you, on the other hand, manage this type of people who are really interested in taking care of themselves regarding their health, as well as or based on their body image, but mainly considering their health? What would you do in order to, based on what we are living with the pandemic and all these increasing levels of anxiety, nervousness, depression, and not being healthy?
Yes, it's a great question. So the first thing I would do inside my mind, and I really mean this, is I have to understand, we have to understand as practitioners, as helping professionals, coaches, whatever you call yourself, that you can't save people. Your job is not to save them. Your job is not to fix them. Your job is not to feel sorry for them. That's not your job. You can't save them. You can't fix them.
Okay.
It's enough to try to fix ourselves.
Yes.
It's enough to try to help ourselves. So again, what you can do is that you can be a place and a person where they can come and they can feel something very different from the rest of life. Because you're right, right now the world is not such a fun place to be with the pandemic. So how do you be the kind of person that when your clients come to see you, you're happy to see them and you're celebrating what you do with them. You're making it so that they understand, I love this work. I love doing this work with you. This is so good that you're helping yourself during these difficult times. How are you doing? And you can talk to people. You can be their friend as a professional, meaning you can be friendly with them. You can ask them about their life and how things are going. And then you can get to the business of however you're coaching them, however you're helping them with their fitness. But it's always about you're creating an experience for them. It's not that you're here to fix them and make them lose weight and make them healthier.
Okay.
That's not your job, even though that's what they're coming to you for.
Yes.
What your real job is to create an experience. And the experience that you're creating is an experience where they feel welcome, they feel accepted by you, they feel love, and they feel safe, and they feel that they're doing something good for their body because that's how you're seeing it and that's how you're speaking about it to them. So you're encouraging them. When you see them have even small successes, you encourage them.
Okay.
When you see them working hard, you encourage them. When you see that they're down and they're depressed that day and they drag themselves in and they really don't want to do any exercise, then you can maybe give them a little inspiration. However you do it, however you say that, oh, wow, it looks like today's a struggle for you.
Okay.
What can we do to help get you going? So it's less about the specific things you do. So you have lots of tools in terms of health and fitness. Those are not the most important tools you necessarily have. I really think our most important tools, again, are creating an atmosphere of love and safety and acceptance, because that's the very thing that they don't have in the world or in their families. So when I'm working with a client, my clients know that I respect them. They know that I care about them. And they know that I accept them for who they are, that they don't have to lose weight for me to like them. I'm happy for them to lose weight. But I'm already happy for them. I'm already excited for them. I already like them.
Okay. And Marc.
Did that make sense to you, Gabriela, my answer to that question?
Yes. Yes.
It feels like you want to help everybody and you want to save the world.
Okay.
No, in a good way. In a good way. It feels like you have a very big heart and you really want to help take care of people. So you can do that with your heart, not just making people lose weight and making people more fit and making people eat healthier food.
I agree. And Marc, what would be your advices in terms of making people or myself notice and see beyond, as you were saying, having a perfect image or body image or losing weight? And what would be your message or your core claims in terms of how can we integrate our mind, our body, and of course our nutrition, the way we are eating, besides our soul, to feel that we are in a state of well-being and to feel that we are in peace.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
in peace.
Yes. So, beautiful question, really. I think before I can do that for somebody else, before I can help somebody get there, I have to be working on that for myself.
Okay.
In my own self. And even if I'm not perfect at it, I need to be working on that. So I need to be a work in progress. So you're a work in progress. Your clients are a work in progress. And it's a beautiful goal to have, that we're just more integrated and we're able to inhabit the body that we're in and enjoy it and occupy it and feel like mind and body and soul are connected. So to me, I need to work on that for myself. And people pick up on that. People feel that. People sense that. I think part of it for you personally of how to get there is, I don't know if you've done this, but it might be interesting for you to make a 20-year plan in your mind about what you want your relationship with your body to be.
Okay.
What do you want your relationship with your body to be for these next 20 years? How do you want to experience your body? How do you want to experience yourself? Now, I think part of it, I want to suggest to you, is that for you, I think there's just a little bit of the old programming, the old perfectionism that you need to let go of more and more. It's saying goodbye to your 20s and 30s and 40s and saying, how do I be a queen in this body that I'm in? So you're beautiful for a 50-year-old woman, and how do I relax into that, and how do I enjoy it, and how do I radiate energy? I want to tell you something. I just remembered one of the oldest clients I've ever seen. She was 86. And when she walked into my office, I was stunned, because she didn't so much walk in as she kind of glided in. She almost danced in the way she moved. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen an 86-year-old woman walk like that. There was just a grace to her. She was just in her body. She was very regal. She was very present. And she sat down and we started talking. And what she wanted from our session was to be up on the latest nutrition information, because she likes to take care of her diet and her body. And she just wants to know, like, she's not into reading books, and she's not into, doing the research. She just wants to go to the right expert and ask, what should I do? What should I be eating? What supplements should I be taking? And that's when I said to her, I said, how old are you? She said, I'm 86. I said, I was trying to think to myself, what was it about her that was just, I'd never really noticed before in a woman that age. And here's what I came up with. She was just glowing.
Okay, wow.
She was just radiant. So it was like energy was coming from her. And she had been a dancer, a professional dancer, when she was very young. Okay. And she still stretches a little bit, and she still just likes to practice being in her body. But I said to her, really, I should be paying you for this session, and I should be asking you how at 86 you're so in your body and you're so radiant. And she was just a very generous person in her heart, in her energy, in her words. She was giving. She was just like giving back to the world. She's the kind of person, she walks into a room and she smiles. She walks into a room and she looks at anybody and she'll give them positive regard. So what I'm saying is that oftentimes one of the ways to heal our body image, so we're not thinking about it so much, is to look at how we want to grow as a person at this stage in my life.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So you see, to me, you have that kind of queen in you who can just radiate energy. And because you've learned a lot, you've seen a lot. Are you a mother? Do you have kids? Are you married?
Yes, I have 3 young adults, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so you've lived a full life and you've learned a lot. And this is a time, I think, for, once we hit 50, it's a time to start giving back like never before. But giving back doesn't mean you have to work even harder to exercise your clients. And you have to work even harder to make sure that they eat the right foods. No, because, when you and I die, when you're 100 years old and you die and people are remembering you, people are not going to say, oh, I remember Gabriela once told me to not eat so many carbs. Oh, I love her so much. No, they're not going to remember that about you.
Okay.
People are going to remember how you made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to remember how they felt about themselves when they were around you.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, what I've noticed is that one of the ways to heal the kind of body image where we're still trying to have the ideal body is to flip the conversation to a higher place. Who do I want to be?
I like it.
How do I want to be in relationship with this body? So what do you want from this body? You want it to be healthy enough and have enough energy so that you can continue to love the people that you love. Your children, your family. You want to have enough energy and health so you can continue to do the things you do to make the world a better place, but you're doing that by who you are. And then having 1% less body fat, it's less important.
Of course.
Because again, when you die, nobody's going to say, oh, Gabriela was the best. She only had 12% body fat. I'll never forget that. Nobody
Yes. Yes. Yes, because I think that nowadays or day after day is becoming more important to feel integrated, to feel as a whole. Because I don't know what you think about this, Marc, but I believe that in the past or in the previous times, we used to believe or see ourselves as organs, systems, and different parts of our body that were integrating us. But nowadays, Paul, I think that these times are more reflexive and are making us see ourselves as how we are. So what would be your message, for example, in terms of being as a whole, feeling as a whole? Because as you have already said, it's very important for us to, feel we are healthy, feel and know that we are eating good quality of food, being aware of and taking advantage of our body and see ourselves beyond that. But regarding ourselves as a whole, what would you do about it? What would be your key messages, Marc?
Great question, Gabriela. At some point when I'm working with a client, at some point, whether they're dealing with weight or body image or overeating, binge eating, emotional eating, all of that, at some point in the relationship, I'm going to get to the conversation about what's your purpose in the world? What's your purpose here? Why are you here?
Okay.
Why do you wish to be alive? And what are your values? What do you value? What do you desire most, truly? What's really most important to you? So purpose, values, deeper desires. Purpose for some people, it's different for everybody, but so many people, their purpose is family, their purpose is love. Their purpose is to connect with the people that are most important to them. Their purpose might be to just be a great partner and have a great relationship. Part of their purpose might be the work that they do in the world. So we can have a number of different purposes, but why are you here? Why even live your life? What makes your life worth living? What are the most important things to you? If you only had 1 year to live, what would you do with your life? How would you spend your time? You only have 1 year to live. You have all the money that you need to live. What would you do with yourself? So to ask those questions, because what happens is a lot of people, they exercise, they exercise and they diet. And I'm like, okay, what for?
Exactly.
Okay, so I can
Exactly.
have a nicer body. Okay, so you have a nicer body. Then what are you going to do? Like, hey, everybody, I got a nice body. What are you going to do with that nice body? And
Exactly.
if you're exercising and you have lots of energy, okay, great. What are you going to do with that energy? Somebody could exercise 9 hours a day, and that might be their value at that time. That might be their purpose. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that if that's their purpose, but at least we have to ask the question, is that really your purpose? Is your purpose here to be exercising, many hours a day, or focusing on food and diet and perfecting your body? What does that get you at the end of the day?
I like that.
And okay, great. You want to have a perfect body? Let's just put that aside for a second. What else? What are the most important things? If you can get whatever you wanted in your life, what would that look like? And usually what happens is when people don't focus on the things that are truly important for them, it's easy for body image to become important, and controlling my diet becomes important.
Wow. Yes. I agree. Totally agree.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes, because
please, yes, go.
yes, I totally agree. Thank you, Mark, because in these regards, I believe that we are not pursuing our main objectives in life. We are not seeing ourselves as having the highest value in the world and towards ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if we feel ourselves empty, then we'll be starting looking after these simple, tiny things such as controlling our food, yes, intake, or doing lots of exercise and distracting ourselves and
Yes.
not really being here, as you said.
Yes. So
Yes.
these are the kinds of conversations you could have with any one of your clients.
Mm.
And it might be the first time that anybody's ever said such things to them or asked them questions. Other than losing 50 pounds, what's the most important thing to you in your life, Mrs. Client? Like, what are your dreams? Who do you want to be 10 years from now?
Yes.
What's your purpose here? If you could live to be 100 and have the ideal life, and now you're 100 years old and you're on your deathbed, tell me, what is your ideal life? What did it look like? Who were you? What did you do?
Wow. Yes.
And I have these conversations with my clients because oftentimes nobody has. People think my issue is just with overeating, or my issue is just my weight. If I can only lose weight, then everything gets better. Like, no.
Yes.
How many people lose weight and gain it back? 99%. 99% of people who lose weight gain it back within a year.
Yes.
How many people lose weight and they realize, oh, this is nice, but I'm kind of still not happy. Or now I'm worried about gaining it back. And I'm still not enjoying my body, and I still don't feel pleasure. People think that they're going to feel all this pleasure when they have the perfect body. No, you feel pleasure in any moment.
And do you think it is all related, or these type of reactions are somehow related to just one of our senses? For example, we are just seeing, watching, but we are not expressing all of our senses towards ourselves and towards life.
Yeah.
Do you think we are seeing us just as a material object and that's it?
I think that often happens, yes. Yes, people can have a very limited world view of themselves because that's what the world teaches us. It teaches women, especially, your body is your advertisement. Your body is your value. Your looks are your only value. And as soon as you're not young anymore, we throw you out. Or as soon as you gain weight, we don't care and we don't notice you anymore. So the only way we can change that is one person at a time. You can't change the whole world, but you can help the people, so you can help yourself. And then you can share that kind of wisdom with the people around you and the people that come to see you and the people that you serve. And you learn how to do it in the way that you do it and in the way that you express yourself. And you tune into people. You know, sometimes I can have a conversation like here's you and I, and we got into a deep conversation, not really knowing each other. And we can do that. You can get into a deep conversation with a client in your first session. Or sometimes you might notice, let me just wait a little bit and build relationship. And then I can start, being a little bit more personal with them or being more heartfelt with them. So this is about you. Let me say this, and you know this because you've taken my training, but what I like to talk about when I'm training professionals in how to help another human being is I'm always trying to look at my client from the lens of where is life calling them? How is life asking this person in front of me to grow? Because there's always a greater wisdom operating in our lives. That's how I see it. There's just a bigger wisdom. There's a bigger knowledge, a bigger understanding, a higher power that's always operating. And a lot of times our clients, our people, they don't know that.
Yes.
They're just walking around thinking that this is all there is.
Yes.
And so when I look at a client, I'm asking silently, I'm asking the question, where is life calling them? How is life asking them to grow? So when you look at your clients like that, you'll start to get messages. You'll start to get intuitions. Oh, this person just needs to get into their body more and feel this body right now. Or, oh, this person needs to express themselves more. They need to talk more. Some people need to listen more and they need a little bit of mentoring and guidance. Some people need to let go of a past relationship and open up to a new one. Some people, it's different for everybody. So all I'm saying is that's my suggestion to you for you in your professional life is make your job bigger than what you think it is right now. So your ultimate job is not to help people lose weight and be healthier.
Yes.
Losing weight and being healthier is a nice side effect. And maybe that's what they're coming to see you for. And that's fine. My clients come to see me to lose weight and be healthier. And I go, great, come on in. But I know that what I'm going to focus on is helping them be a better person. Sure, we're going to tweak their diet and sure, we'll tweak their exercise. Of course, I'm going to work in those realms, but I'm going to work in other realms as well. And those other realms are really what my job is all about, is to help them be the best human being that they can be.
Excellent.
So that's a great question for you to ask yourself silently when you're with somebody. How can I help this person be their best self? And then just see what answers come up. And it might take time.
I like it. Yes. It's true. Very, very important to see us growing day after day, having evolution as human beings.
Yes.
And to really be happy. As you said, really be enjoying our lives, our journey. Because it's a matter of moments, small moments that make our journey.
It's so true. And there's all different kinds of ways you can remind your client of that, just in casual conversation.
Mm.
And the more you give those messages to your client, the more you reinforce it for yourself.
Yes.
So the more you say it to somebody else, the more you're saying it and the more it becomes true for you. So we don't have to be perfect. We're just growing together.
Yes.
You just need to be a step or two ahead of your client. But you don't need to be perfect. You're just a growing person, just like your client. And there's certain ways that you're a little bit more advanced, so you're able to help them. And while you're helping them, you're just reminding yourself of all the things you need to know for you.
Yes, we need to start with ourselves.
Yes.
With our own being. Yes, I agree, Marc. Yes, lovely. Thank you. Very valuable.
So what's your vision for yourself? Do you have any ideas for the next, let's say even just 10 years, your vision for how you want your life to be, your personal life, your professional life? What would that look like?
Oh, Marc. Okay. First, I see myself to become more grounded in terms of acceptance. Mm-hmm. Acceptance of myself, how I am, what do I like, what I do not like, in terms of serving others as well as myself. So that becomes a type of equation that leads us to happiness, you know? So I believe I need to be and feel more happy than I used to be in the past, yes. First of all. Secondly, in those terms, I also think that I can serve others, as you said, in a better way, in a more integral way, just going beyond their body image or their health, going beyond that, as you said. Also, I believe that in terms of my happiness, I can be more creative and expand myself, yes, and can reach other people that are even far away from where I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And of course, I am very interested in expanding and having a breakthrough in terms of all what I have learned with you and what I'm still learning now, because I am continuously studying. So nowadays I'm studying a master in nutrition and food biotechnology. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I am also interested in certificate myself in yoga as a yoga coach. So I would also like to go to India to travel and to gain from their spirit, from their souls, and how do they do yoga. And, you know, I really want to transcend more within myself and within others' lives. Yes. That's how I see myself.
Mm-hmm. That's so beautiful. And to me, I see you as a person who's doing that right now. Mm-hmm. And you just have to notice that's what you're doing right now. You've been doing it in this conversation. That's the conversation that you brought to the table. And I really mean this. I think you're right there. You think you're a little further away.
Yes.
The
it's
way
a matter
I
of
see,
trust.
Yes. Well, part of it is trust. Part of it is just owning it. Part of it is you owning who you are and the gifts that you have right now, and understanding that right now you're the person you want to be. It doesn't mean you won't get better at it. But right now, you're that person who can be happier. Right now, you're that person who can inspire people. Right now, you're a person who has wisdom. And I think a lot of it is just starting to give it out more.
Okay.
Like really just starting to give from a deeper place, from your deeper place of knowledge and wisdom.
Okay.
And sure, continue to learn. But I don't want you to think that, oh, I have to accumulate more certificates and more knowledge
Okay.
in order for me to let my light come out.
Okay.
You have a lot of, yes, you have a lot of light, and there's just a few little beliefs that you have that says, well, but I have to do this, this, and this, and this before I really let that out.
Yes.
No, there's nothing to wait for.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I really appreciate your words.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Marc.
Yes, it's really acknowledging that you've come a long way and that you've arrived at a beautiful place at age 50, 51. You've learned a lot, you have a lot to give, and feel what it feels like to start giving that and sharing that light and just letting it out.
Okay.
And
Yes,
that's going to make you happier.
For sure.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, for sure. As much as you are inspiring us and lots of people around the world, and as much as you are shining and sharing with us. That's the way I see myself. But as you have said, I need to start right now, not to wait until. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you. You got it.
Thank you. Thank you very
Gabriela,
much, Marc.
Yes, I so appreciate the conversation.
Me too. Thank you very much. It was great.
Yes. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Lots more to come, my friends. Take care.
Hey friends, we're so happy that you've joined us for another episode of The Psychology of Eating with Marc David. Are you loving these episodes? Then simply subscribe and you'll never miss an episode again. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a comment below so we can hear more about your own journey with food and body. And if you're curious about what we offer at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, including our internationally acclaimed coach certification training that's rooted in dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition, please head on over to our website, psychologyofeating.com. Until next time, take care. And remember, having the body you want starts with loving the body you have.